y'all, Mythic Rare here, and this is a whip and chat, so feel free to bust out any crafting projects that you want to do because this is a work in progress and chat. Thank you again to all my A1 Day 1 subscribers. I love how we keep on growing, and I understand there is a choice in your diamond painting content, so if you like what you see here, then hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, and ding my bell for any notifications from me. The day of this filming is Monday, April 8th. Happy Eclipse Day for any of y'all who may decide to view that. Also, happy belated Easter or happy spring, depending on your tradition. If you are Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce levels of over it for the eclipse, I hope that y'all are having a blessed day and that you have a wonderful start to your week. Before we do get started, I want to let you all know that I am about to go into a recap with all of my allergy stuff that's been going on lately, so feel free to skip ahead. Timestamps are in the description below. So this is my LEP Creations by LEP tray. Pen from Muni-Made, wax from Muni-Made, a random pink pen with a straightener, Diamond Art Club pen with a 10 placer. They do not come on default with the 10 placer. That is a optional thing that you can buy. And then the kit that I'm working on is Adrena from the Mermaid Cavern. So yes, last we left off, my follow-up appointment ended in me getting orders to do a CT scan of my sinuses and facial structure, and like the pre-approval process took a few days for that, and I have that scheduled for 8 a.m. Thursday of the following week. So on my way there, I have Sirius XM streaming through my phone, and I have it set to K-pop. It's one of the extra channels because it was already a rainy day, and I am a late afternoon evening person being, doing this at 8 in the morning. I already didn't want to be there. So I'm just like, at the very least, I am going to have like some music that I associate with like happiness and positivity, and it is what it is. And as soon as I was pulling up to the place, the current song that was playing, it just like abruptly quit. And then I heard Run Devil Run by Girls' Generation come on as I was pulling into the parking lot for the CT scan. And I was just like so floored because back when I was like maybe freshman or sophomore in college, one of my friends who I played League of Legends with way back when had introduced me to K-pop, and he had specifically said about this group, Girls' Generation, like, oh, you should go check them out. I think you might like them. So I did. And funny enough, that song, Run Devil Run, is basically the theme song to one of my favorite champions from the game. So yeah, for anybody who doesn't necessarily know this or like wondered where it came from, if you do the dance emote in League of Legends while you're playing Ahri, she does the choreography from Run Devil Run. That's where her dance came from. And I am just like, if the universe gave me a sign that today is going to be a good day, this was it. So I am just like moving and grooving with the song and like kind of like dancing around in the car, doing some of the choreography and stuff with it while seated in the car in park. And as soon as the song is over, I just like deep breath in, hold for 4 seconds, deep breath out for 4 seconds, and I shut it down, I walk inside, and I check in. And I'm asking the nurse upon check-in, like, oh, did everything go okay with my insurance? She said yes. She walks me back, and then, like, they ask all the, like, oh, are you, like, do you have any metal implants? Like, da-da-da, and I'm just like, yeah, well, I have a permanent retainer from when I had my braces back when I was, like, in high school, but other than that, no, that's it. And, you know, like, they just asked me a few, health check questions, and they're just like, all right, we'll be with you in just a few minutes, and really, truly, just a few minutes, because it was pouring rain. It was a Thursday in the middle of the week. Everybody still had school. Like, I was the only one in there, and it was nice. So a CT scan, thank goodness, the one that they had me do of my facial structure and sinuses, didn't have to have contrast. Contrast, if you ever have to have that, and you take it by mouth, it is super gross. Thankfully, this is one of the things that did not require contrast, and it was like 5 minutes in and out. So I sit there, they like wind me up with the crosshairs for the thing. I get scanned. I pay my $268 and for the thing, which, yeah, ouch. And then I get out of there. And he said, oh, yeah, I expect results in about 3 business days. So I'm just like, okay. You know, it's Thursday, so probably not going to hear anything until next week. Friday was kind of just a work day. And at this point, I had started Augmentin, so I have like a second antibiotic working at this point. I can feel my ears popping a lot, like tingling in my cheeks and stuff, but I take it that was a good thing. Like, things are finally starting to turn in our direction. Still feeling pretty low energy, though. And then the next day, Saturday, I was feeling a little bit better. So Alex was tired of being cooped up in the house. He wanted to go somewhere, so he decided, you know, we could maybe cruise up to Barnes & Noble. And we did. And he was trying to check and see how much he could spend in there, and like the password or something got entered way too many times incorrect on his banking app. So he couldn't, so we like had to leave 3/4 of the things behind that we wanted to get, and you know, to like force ourselves to stay in budget. And he, yeah, like that just, that made him feel a certain way. And it was kind of a downer for the rest of the day. We decided to go home, and we couldn't decide on what we wanted for lunch. So we're just like, I don't know what sounds good. And he's like, yeah, you know, like, why don't you grab a burger? And I'm just like, okay, from here, or here. He is like, I don't care, just pick one. So I decided to go and get McDonald's, and the rain had stopped from earlier and the sun had come out, and as I am heading up the road, I see a rainbow in the clouds, and I am just like, oh, cool. Like, I hadn't seen a rainbow in such a long time. And that was kind of when I was thinking about, you know, doing the small shop haul and everything. So I'm just like, I wonder if it's another sign. So I'm just like, I guess if I ever wanted confirmation about whether or not I should do a video, that is it, and that is a definite yes, you need to do that. So we did it. The small shop haul is up there in the eye, in case y'all want to see that. And continuing on, I go to McDonald's, I get the burger, I come back, and then we're just like, you know what, we should just like call it quits for going places. Like, let's just watch a movie. And I'm just like, I saw this in the store the other day, we missed it in the theaters, I picked up the DVD for it, and it was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And oh my goodness, we have the whatchamacallit, the air conditioner kick on, and there was something just straight up rattling in the freaking ducts. Like, I don't know if maybe a mouse or a squirrel or something got up underneath there, but it was like rattling, and it was kind of like, ew, creepy. Anyways, I know. Like, totally, completely random, but I don't, like, these mics can pick up everything in the room, and that was pretty loud, so I don't know. Anyways, so we decided to watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and we're, like, Alex and I are just, like, having a blast. It was really good. For those who haven't seen it and you're looking for content, highly recommend. And like right towards the very end, he's walking over a rainbow bridge, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, that's like the second rainbow I had seen in like 24 hours. So at this point, like after me and him just decide to go do our own separate things for the evening, that's when I'm placing all my orders for the small shop haul. And then turn around and like just randomly see rainbows and stuff like coming up all throughout social media, and then just like randomly when I'm online and stuff, like I have just been like keeping and seeing rainbows. Later on in the evening, I get a text from the imaging lab that did my CT scan. Your results have come back. And it had like explained everything. It highlighted all the medical terms and it explained them in layman's terms, and everything came back clear. So I am just like, oh my goodness. Like that is just nuts. So I'm kind of scratching my head now thinking, well, okay, it's not like a deviated septum. It's not like it saw polyps, because otherwise it would have said so. So clearly, as of this moment, surgery is off the table. But, it's essentially a biomedical chemistry problem with my body, and the fact that it's, allergic to so many things. So I am just like, at least we know that surgery is not on the table anymore. Thank goodness. So, like, I go and I tell everybody in the house, and we are just like breathing a really big sigh of relief. So, like, I'm working all week and stuff. The swelling in my face at this point has gone down to where I am doing just fine on the Augmentin. I am essentially back to normal. Like, everything about my breathing, my face, like, everything is back to normal. And at that point, oh my goodness, like, see, I should not be able to slide the drills like this. I feel like the adhesive should be fighting me just a little bit more, which is wonderful. Like, I can scooch them over really easy and place them if I, am cattywampus. But I feel like just that right there, if you are pressing too hard, your drills are just like gonna slip and slide all over the place. It is something that you might have a hard time like visually seeing, but like if you could straight up feel that the glue is not like tactile at all, you would know. But I'm gonna save that for a post review. So at this point, my face is back to normal. And, we're all clear on the CT scan. I just got my income taxes back. And Alex and I wake up bright and early at 6 a.m. and we get dressed and we hop in the car. We stop off at a Casey's, which is a gas station. For those of y'all outside of Oklahoma, we stop at Panera to get some coffee and some breakfast. And then we hit the road and we have a 1 hour commute to Gutherie. Gutherie, Oklahoma is a very, it's a very Old West type of town. And it was kind of like an overcast sort of day. It was a tad chilly and foggy. So I have a coat. Alex has nothing, and he regrets not bringing a coat. Because when we got there so early to the Gutherie Renaissance Festival that we were basically parked right up front, right next to the entrance, where they had all of the vendors parking, and some of the vendors were even still setting up, which was kind of funny. We walked around all over the place. We couldn't find anybody who had a cloak. I wasn't cold because I had athletic shorts underneath my dress from Holly Clothing, and I had a white Sherpa jacket over top of all of that. I was a tad chilly, it wasn't too bad, but Alex was freezing, so we decided to duck into some tents and do some shopping. I found the Dragon's Hoard, which was, I believe, at the last Oklahoma City Renaissance Festival that we went to back in November, and I had gotten one of their corsets, and it was so funny because it's they had one that was a size and a half way too big for me. So then it's well, you want it to wrap around you, but not necessarily close all the way up. So then I got one that was the next size down. So then they had to put in a little bit longer lacing and stuff for me, but they made it work. And it was basically Elizabeth Swann, I cannot breathe levels of tight. After an hour and a half, Alex and I had decided to ditch our jackets because at that point the sun had burnt off all of the fog and everything. And then we had gotten a little warm, and we decided to finish our beverages and stuff, and just kind of lighten our load a little bit. So then thankfully there wasn't even too many people showing up in the parking lot just yet. So he has me turn around and let out my corset just a tad. I feel like I probably could have done it myself, but just where the laces for it were located, how far down on my waist, my arms couldn't have bent that way, so I just had to have him do it. And then, we have these wristbands and everything, so we were able to skip the really long line that had built up at this point, because now the sun's out and the weather is nice. And we decided to walk around some more. I had found this leather worker who had a ring belt, which I feel is a very staple, iconic sort of piece if you're gonna do a head to toe Renaissance outfit. A ring belt is one of those must-haves, And then I got skirt hikes too, because eventually, you know, for colder days, I will add petticoats to my outfit so that the skirt will look fuller. I'll have, and like sometimes if those don't shrink down right, depending on the material that they're made out of, they can be kind of long. So, you know, like I have a blue dress too from Holly Clothing that is just like a tad long that I feel could potentially be a trip hazard. So getting that ring belt and getting skirt hikes was like a definite game changer. At this point, I'm pretty much done with my shopping. The only other thing that I scooped up was a flower crown. And at that point, I was pretty much done. Alex, on the other hand, was like, there needs to be more stuff for the men and da-da-da. And so then we're walking around and we come across a shop that was selling tunics. And he picked out a really fabulous linen tunic. It's black and it has gold Celtic knots. And it's a V-neck sort of tunic. So it has the Celtic knot work go like all around the V-neck where it laces up and stuff. And then it's got like Celtic knots on the sleeves, and he fell in love with it. He purchased it. So that was great, you know, that we found something for him. He already had bracers and stuff, but he decided to take them off because at this point, with the sun burning off all of the fog and everything, it was just, yeah. Like, it was just getting a little hot for him. I was like running around looking for a turkey leg after that because it was getting to be lunchtime. And I saw people with them, but I could never find the vendor for the turkey legs. So I just decided to wait in line with Alex, and we got stuff from the Flounders Fish and Chips. He had the fried cod and chips, and that was really good. It was fresh out the fryer. His only complaint was, it is so hot, I want to eat it, but I just can't right now. And I decided to get the fried lobster tail and chips, and that was like super good. But you know, just that level of salt, it left us both craving something sweet to kind of balance it out. So after we finish our food, we decide to hop to the truck next door where they had snow cones. And like, even their medium snow cone, which was like $7, it was massive. It was about like maybe the size of this cup. And yeah, like it was a 20-ounce sort of cup, and that was their medium. Alex decided to get a large, and the large was absolutely massive. At that point, like, we wanted to walk around some more, see a few things that we didn't see earlier, but there was getting to be a lot of people, so we decided to, let's just pack it up and go home. Unfortunately, we didn't see Red Paw Leather there or anything else because they were actually busy doing a Renaissance fair on the East Coast at the time that we didn't know about. So yeah, we didn't quite spend as much as we wanted or looking to spend at the Renaissance Fair. So Alex is like, hey, you know, like the Willy Wonka movie made me feel a certain way about like pursuing your passions. I want to get back into Lego. Let's make a trip to the Lego store. And I am just like, at this point, I just like want to rest and go home and all of that. And but I'm just like, okay, sure, yeah, because it's on the way. So we stop in at the Lego store, and we're getting like all kinds of funny looks, right? Because we're all just like in our Renaissance attire, and like people were asking questions, and we're just like, yeah, we just came from Gutherie. Da da da. Um, it's to be expected. Kind of awkward, but you know, is what it is. Alex wound up picking up a Ferrari Daytona and stuff, and then I wound up picking up the he said like go ahead and pick out a kit, like it's my treat. So I picked up Himeji Castle just because I like had off and on seen that kit from Diamond Art Club. It comes back, goes out of stock, and like I just kind of wasn't seeing it anymore. Maybe I'm just not like looking in the right place or whatever, but I just, you know, I had decided, you know, I never got to do the diamond painting of that, and I've kind of been wanting to do the diamond painting of that, but I just, you know, it has just eluded my grasp. So I got the Lego kit instead. And we spent 3 or so hours after the Renaissance Festival putting together his Lego kit, and I am simultaneously nursing a sunburn at this point because I saw that it was cloudy and stuff, and I didn't even think to bring sunscreen with me, and I had no idea that like the clouds I was seeing was just fog and it was going to clear out later that day. So I regret that highly now. I wound up picking up the Hawaiian Tropic After the Sun lotion with lime colada fragrance, and that works great if you are in a tanning bed, or maybe you just spent afternoon like soaking in the pool and stuff. Like that is great for that, but it isn't great for sunburns. So I have looked up on Google like, oh, take a shower that's on the cooler side. That definitely helped bring the edge off and stuff, and like take a lot of heat out of my body, but my skin still felt very much like angry and irritated. Like my face got burnt pretty bad, so did my chest, because my dress had a little bit lower of a neckline, and it's just, yeah. Like, I got it pretty bad, and I sat there and I tried the Hawaiian Tropic afterburn care, and nothing. So I decided to do the what I call the expensive, but it is what it is route. A few years ago, back in 2019, I had gone on a family vacation to a cruise that launched out of Miami, and it did Western Caribbean. It like went to Cozumel and stuff, and like I had done a good job about applying sunscreen in Cozumel, but I had such a fun time that I forgot to reapply my sunscreen, and I got so burnt. And you know, when you're out like in a cruise in the middle of the ocean, you know, you're kind of like not thinking about after the sun care and all of that. Like, you just, it's one of those things where you don't think it's gonna happen, so you don't like foresee bringing aloe vera or anything with you, you know, unless you know for a fact that no matter what you burn, and you know, it is what it is. But typically I don't burn like that, so I'm just like, so I was just like, well, confused, and I had a appointment at the nail salon to get my nails done for later that day. So then the esthetician who's doing my nails, she recommends like get the Elemis milk bath, and even though it says milk bath, even though you're not going to have a bathtub in your stateroom, when you're fresh out the shower, rub it in like you would a lotion, and then rub your actual lotion in over top of it, and it worked. Like, I was 2 days into a 5-day cruise. By the time I got off the boat, my skin was back to normal. And that was kind of the same situation here, is after I had applied the Elemis milk bath, and in addition to that, I have the Sika Calm for my face. After I used those two things for 3 days consecutively after I got them, it was just amazing. My skin went back to normal. Yes, I peeled. And I peeled for like a good couple days after. But it just like completely relieved everything. Like, it costs a pretty penny, but that's because it's worth its weight in gold. So yeah, if you ever get burned on a cruise ship, stop by their spa and see if you can purchase Elemis milk bath. A lot of cruise lines, or even if you can't get it in the cruise line, like see if a duty-free shop or just like, you know, a shop in general in your airport has it, because it will work wonders on sunburns. And also, they're in Amazon. So even if you can't get it while you're out and about, and like you feel like you've tried everything and you still cannot get anything to work for your sunburn, at least you can prime it in once you get back home. But sunburn aside, like, we had a really good time while we were eating our food. We saw the trebuchet fling cannonballs, so that was really entertaining. I wish that we could have maybe seen some more like live performances and things, but just the fact that Alex was willing to like be around that many people was kind of pushing it for him, and kind of sort of me too, because working from home all the time, not being around people like that also was kind of pushing it. So kind of a bummer, but we're working on it. We're building that tolerance to being around people again. So yeah, we came home, we took care of my sunburn, we got the Lego built, and shortly after that, Alex decides to take his truck to work because everything had been fixed on it again, and it was the day that he decides to take his truck to work. His truck is fine all throughout the day, but on the way home, on the off-ramp for the freeway on his exit, his brakes go out. Luckily, there is no traffic or anything coming, so he just glided on through the light. He couldn't stop for it. He made his turn, and thank goodness it is what it is, even though he straight up could not stop. He didn't get into an accident or anything. Like, he was fine. The truck is fine. It just, the brakes don't work. And it's, not a job that Alex and his dad are newbies at. Like, they've done brakes on the vehicles, like, plenty of times. They know what they're doing, and it's just, it was one of those things, unfortunately, where it's like, I just keep pumping money into this truck, and like, it just keeps on fighting back with more things that are broken. So, moving forward, he is deciding to be a little more tight-fisted, and he is hoping to save up for a vehicle and get a new one late this summer, going into fall, because that's when a lot of rental car companies will switch out their cars. And yes, that is a thing. They will sell off their cars that had been with them for 2 or 3 years so that they can refresh their fleet. It is a thing that very much happens. So we decide on that, and then at this point, all of my stuff from my small shop is coming through in the mail. And the Nick's Notions box pretty much just broke me because, and in a good way, because when I unboxed, like, the free gift and everything, there was a rainbow sticker, and then there was a gold tray, and I am just like, oh my goodness. Like, that was totally cool. And, the other cool thing that came with the free gifts with purchase is the fact that they had in there a bracelet that said mental health, no stigma. So at this point, I am just like floored because like, I keep on seeing rainbows and stuff, and I'm just like, yes, like, very much yes, because I'm doing BetterHelp, I'm seeing how it is like greatly improved my quality of life by helping me work through some of my stuff that's been holding me back. And I am just like absolutely like almost speechless, but at the same time just like, this is so awesome. It's almost as if they knew. And I certainly didn't plan it this way, but I am just like, oh my goodness. But there was one, and like I'm seeing everything come through to me, but there was one box in particular that hasn't made its way to me yet. And that was my Jaded Gem Shop kits. I had placed 2. I'd ordered 2 of them. Usagi City and Death by... Well, Death is from Techstart, and then I forget the artist for Usagi City. But I had wanted to work on one for Jaded Jamboree, and then the other one I was going to do for Drills and Chills. And I had to wait for a paycheck before I could even, like, place the order. Because of just, like, the timing of which it was announced. I had a lot of stuff, like, all of my bills basically leaving my account, and I'm just like... that would be kind of irresponsible for me to purchase right now. Like, I just have to wait. So then I did the responsible thing and I waited, and now it's like already halfway into the event before I may even see my kits. And like, I mean, no shade or disrespect to Jade. I think that maybe there was just like some, like a lot of backlog from China, because I did kind of order that during the Lunar New Year, and I wasn't, like, Jaded Jamboree was not on my bingo card for 2024. So I'm thinking it's the combination of that, but then also everybody loves her kits, so she probably just, like, got completely barraged and stuff, which is a good thing for her. It's just, you know, like, it didn't work out. And lately, Alex and I have been watching Kung Fu Panda, and it's reiterated throughout the movie, Master Uguay's saying that the past is history, the future is a mystery, but the now is a gift because we call it present. And that just, like, had hit home so hard, because it's like, okay, like, the Baby Rexha song, if it's meant to be, it'll be. So, you know, I film my unboxing for all the things, and I get to the shimmering canvases, and I see, like, oh, you can use this promo code to get another one of our pens. So I go looking, and I see this pen. It is red and white and sparkly, and I had to have it. Because Derek with Diamonds is doing a Margaret Morales event coming up in May, and I'm just like, I have one of her kits, and it is Onihime. And then I'm like thinking back to how I was in the car listening to Girls' Generation not too long ago, and I'm just like, oh my god. What if I'm not meant to be participating in Jaded Jamboree right now? What if I need to just participate in his event? And then I go and I like look back through the kit. I see like the colors on it. It matches up 100% with the pen that I just ordered. And then I like go back and I look through the kit and see like it's got gold accents in there. And then I see the gold tray from Nyx's Notions, and I'm just like, oh my god, the moon, the stars, and the heavens have just aligned. But yeah, I need to be like, I'm gonna be calling it quits for here because I still gotta go to work today. In like an hour or so. So I feel like I've talked at y'all for quite a while. As soon as those kits arrive, there will be another unboxing, and then there will be probably another whip and chat after, once the Margaret Morales event starts. Until then, see you later. Bye.